Let's get into what the papers are reporting today. And joining us in the studio for this review is Dr. James Kwabena Bomfa. He's CEO of Success and a lecturer at UPSA. We also have Wanda Madilo. He is a communication team member of the National Democratic Congress. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Okay. Wanda, I think your position has changed. That you're working somewhere. You're working somewhere, right?
No,
or you're,
I've always been a business person.
Oh, your post. You haven't gotten any position yet.
We're in government.
Yes. It hasn't come.
It will come. Don't worry.
You want to focus on business.
I have always done that.
Okay.
I've always done that.
And so he's a communication, a development consultant, right? That's what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe one day you have to employ me so we can work together. All right.
Thank you very much.
But as we do always, we'll give you 2 minutes maximum to, have a take on something that you think is on your heart that you want Ghanaians to know. Yeah. So I'll start with you, Wanda.
Well, I see stop wasting patients' time unnecessarily at hospitals. I think that this is an issue that is at the heart of all Ghanaians. We have always cried for hospital facility, facelift of hospitals, new hospital, health infrastructure, medical emergencies, and all that. We've had that discussion back and forth. But one of the things you see really is the delays, the queues, the long queues in the bigger hospitals that are supposed to, have some fast tracking of what they do. I think that is worrying. You go to almost all public hospitals and the queues, the delays, the go and come tomorrow, come next week, and that stuff I think is getting out of hand, and the earlier we do something about it, the better. And again, this comes back to how we engineer our hospitals. One hospital wants to resolve all issues. So I saw that the minister was in one of those hospitals, and they said that consulting room, the particular doctor to be in that consulting room is not on duty and all that and all that. In as much as we agree that sometimes there's a bit of ineptitude on the side of some, staff in some of these environments, it is also important to note that we need to start dealing with this problem as early as possible. We need to start developing specialist hospitals. We need to start getting our facilities to deliver the kind of service you want them to deliver. A lot of training will also be required. Some of these people are employed for years, no training, nothing on the job, no customer relations, instincts and all that. We need to do some good training, open up the spaces, and get people to benefit from the services we provide. And this is widespread. All the polytechnic, polyclinics that we have around, all the district hospitals, the municipal hospitals, the regional hospitals. It's just a problem that is all over, except for the few private hospitals. You don't see this. When you go to a place like Nyaho, for instance, the queue may be long, but in no time, you'll see that there is quick, attendance to people. The labs are working as quick. These days, you go to some of the labs, they tell you, oh, give us 2 days, you go back, it's not ready and all that. So indeed, it's an overhaul that we need to do to get people to get the kind of service that government intends to give them. It's coming at a cost, and therefore we should be prompt in the delivery of such services.
Mustn't that tie into also the attitude of healthcare workers?
Yeah, again, that's why I said that sometimes the training is also very important. To supervision, monitoring is all very important. And then I like to see doctors, moved around a little bit. Medical staff moved around a little bit. Nurses moved around a little bit. When people stay in one position for too long and doing the same thing, the routine is everyday life, go to work, give injections, come back, it becomes a problem. There's a certain boredom that, gets into it. So life and property saving is no longer of a priority because we've seen it all. What is death? Oh, we have seen people die. You are not the first to die. Somebody's in pain. They are telling you, oh, come tomorrow. Come tomorrow means what? Oh, it's nothing. You'll be fine. We have seen worse than this. I think those attitudes, are also of a concern. Many years ago, to be able to go to medical school or to do nursing or any of those, it was more like a calling. You see that the whole family, that's what they do. They have a passion for it and they are willing to do it and do it well. Unfortunately, lately, because of the influence of allowances and all that, some people have found it as a conduit for, making ends meet. And so the passion is not there and the drive is not there, and so you have to force them to do everything. So you see sometimes health professionals behave as though they have been forced to do what they are doing. If the passion is there, sometimes not even for the money. And I have seen a lot of the CHIPS compound where you have women, especially maternity, the women, midwives, those days of midwives, they were virtually like doctors in our communities because they had passion for the job and they do what they do with a lot of, you know, they deliver people sometimes for free. So it's important that we go back to those days where people do these things for the passion for it, not for the ends meet or the financial gains they get out of it.
Because sometimes you get into a health facility and the attitude the nurses are showing you is just mind-boggling. You know, some people will be on their phones. You just wonder why that happens. But again, the infrastructure bit should also be looked at. From where I come from, there is a hospital called the Diskov, Nana Hima Adechi Hospital, the Diskov. Recently, I got some videos from the theater, and no way.
Yeah.
That cannot be equated to healthcare delivery.
Good.
The room is, I mean, the ceilings are leaking badly. The walls are just, you see these green stuff on the walls. And I wonder if the person is, if I'm able to see, and you take me there for an operation. If it's not an emergency, I'm not sure I can't contain it. The room is so bad. And according to the people there, it's been like that, you know, in years. Nobody is attending to it. Yeah. So sometimes you wonder the sort of, you know, it boils down to supervision. Because if you do supervision, you'll probably know that this infrastructure is like because theater, healthcare delivery. We're told that the hospital or the clinic the environment itself should aid in the healing. But what is at Diskov Hospital is not aiding in any, you know, healing process. It will even make it worse for you. So terrible.
If that persists, the president should fire those responsible, especially the municipal chief executive and those other people who work in that environment. You see, there is always...
Why not the medical director of the municipality and not the MC?
He doesn't sit on budget meetings.
Oh, okay.
It's not... He may make a proposal and they will like it, they may not like it. That stops it. He is just to manage the facility. But the facilities expansion, the facilities upgrade and all that lies with those who hold the purse, the public purse. Okay. And so that should be done in conjunction with the municipal health director. We have a municipal health director who works directly under the municipal chief executive and all that, including an MP in that place. So what kind of service are you providing for your people? I hear every time MPs say, well, we are just, what agents? Lawmakers. We are lawmakers. But when they go to campaign, they don't talk about law. They talk about, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. And they get a lot of funding. They get money from the District Assembly Common Fund, they get money from NHIS, they get money from Get Fund, which are support for the MPs to do their job. Why do you sit and come and tell us that I'm just a lawmaker, I don't have money and all that? Do you know how much money they make in terms of what they get from those, you know, courtesies in development? So these are some of the things we should holding them accountable, holding our municipal chief executives accountable, holding people who have positions, who have begged us to vote for us, accountable for some of these things. Okay. And I think that this is not an issue that can even come to the health ministry. They have internally generated funds. What do they use it for? They have other controls. What do they? In fact, the hospital even make, you know, some, what's the name? IGF. They make some internal generator. What do they use some of those funds for? So again, yes, I agree that is the monitoring, is the supervision, but again, the one who holds the public purse must also be held accountable.
Okay, all right. So if my MC is listening, my MC is my senior brother anyway. So Benya Eben said here, they say the bene, my cause wrong my hospital can work also take charge. Into bon modern. Na come from my hospital, na ke theater my debate. Agrana debate or more because according to Wanda Madilo, Moya hold the public purse here until ye debate or more. If you have to put pressure on the municipal health director as well as the medical director of Diskov Hospital, let them do it. Nana Hima Adechi Hospital in here, that kind of support. The theater is so bad, is in a terrible shape in Tibegria. Let me come to you know, James Kwabena Bonnfe. Yes, maximum of 2 minutes.
Okay, so I shared a photo with you over the weekend. I used the
Yeah.
Is it the Liberation Road? From 37 towards University of Ghana. And the footbridge at Spanner Junction, the Tetekwashi. You see in the picture somebody hanging clothes there to sell. This is the beginning. It's a weekend. We've seen it. The last time I sat on this network and spoke about a billboard advertising something just by a police station, it is still there. Some way, somehow, I feel that our security architecture must be up and doing. Our intelligence system and the managers of the intelligence system should be doing better. Over the weekend, I saw in a report where the National Security Coordinator was complaining about the conduct of some of their personnel, going out there to disgrace the outfit by their conduct. These are the things that you should be chasing. Monitoring conversations in the morning on media platforms. Now, intelligence gathering has an open source. And what we say on air, what we say on set, are avenues or pointers to lead you into directions of ensuring that there is safety of the citizenry, our boundaries are guided and guarded, and above all, we are able to go about our businesses in tranquility. For me, that's the most important thing. And to end on a good advice or admonition that was given in the book of Micah 6 verse 8, that what does the Lord require of you? To act right. You can act right when you think right. To walk just before the Lord. Show mercy and be humble in your dealings with one another. And be loving and love. If we do this and we allow the fear of God to live within us, I am sure that we will make Ghana proud and display that the African, the black man, is capable of managing his own affairs.
All right, that's lawyer Kwabena Bonfair there. So we've also been joined in the studio by lawyer Vicky Bright. She is a legal practitioner and an entrepreneur as well. Lawyer, good morning.
Morning.
Trust you're well. Your weekend was good?
I'm well. My weekend was great. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yes. So 2 minutes for you to give us what you want to talk about.
Two things. MPOX is the first thing that's on my mind because we're now at 302 cases. I think last week we were, I can't remember what the numbers were, but I brought it up again and the numbers keep, inflating. I think we need to be addressed by the Ghana Health Service or the minister on this matter and to educate Ghanaians better on how to protect ourselves. Because we started with 2, we're now at 302, and we don't know where we'll be this time next month. So it's not something that can just be ignored. And I'm sure they're doing something to contain it, but we need to know because it's a question of trust, public trust, and calming people down because people are beginning to be very worried about it. So please, Minister of Health, address us on this matter and let us know how best to protect ourselves.
Okay, that's on MPOX.
MPOX, yes. The second thing is an interesting case, actually, regarding a UK Ghanaian citizen, little boy of 14 years, whose parents took him to England to try and, improve his life. He fell into gangs and all sorts of things. So the parents told him they were coming on a family holiday and brought him home and then put him in a boarding school. Now, this boy found a way to actually bring an action in England to have him repatriated back
to the UK.
To the UK. And we are now at the Court of Appeal stage. The first instance case, the High Court dismissed his action, saying that yes, that your parents deceived you, but it was the decision they took was within the boundaries of their role as your parent. And they were worried it's for safeguarding purposes to make sure you don't squander your future and all that. But the Court of Appeal has just dismissed that. So it's
That
interesting.
Here?
No, in England.
In England?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's interesting because a lot of parents find themselves in that situation. It may
Okay.
not be England or it could be anywhere, but I just thought it was something that was, you know, that was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so-
But on the back of that boy's case, someone whose parent or whose mother had brought him here, so it's about 20 years or so ago. He was not put in a boarding school. He was sent deep into the village to live with the grandmother. Now, the BBC wrote this story. The boy said that decision by the mother is what saved him because he was going wayward.
Yes.
So when the mother brought him here, she took his passport. Everything that could let him
Yes.
go back to the UK was taken from him. And the instruction to the grandmother was that she should discipline the young man. So he was disciplined. That
Right.
And
that was the
Yeah,
end
yeah,
of
yeah.
that. You know, I mean, we have our way of bringing up our children, and you know,
Anyway.
Is that well? Maybe it should be of interest to the parents not to give up, because
Yes.
whatever the
Yes.
facts were before the Court of Appeal, I am wondering how it would overturn the decision of the High Court. But they would also have a right to appeal that
To
decision.
appeal all the way,
all the
you
way
know,
to the
yeah.
Supreme Court.
Interesting.
And you know, perhaps they can plead other avenues, but you can reach them and advise them better. The most important thing for me is that there's a text in the good book in Luke 15 when you read verse 17, linking that to what you just said. He says it's about the prodigal son. He said, and when he came to himself, there are situations and conditions that must connect us to our reality, that will force us to think and rethink positions. And that is the only time that a person can realize and see a real state of dissatisfaction based on which they must move out and get better. If you don't create that condition and that situation, the person might never come to him or herself.
Interesting. Okay. Let's get into the papers. And I have with me the Ghanaian Times, the news center. And it says on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, Daddy Lumba reigns in death. Thousands honor him with vigil across the country. And that story is on page 12. Now, another story, AU honors Eric Opoku for agricultural transformation. The story is on page 11. No plan to deport Nigerians, according to the president. Ghanaian Times needy fund. Okay, that's also there. Kenya reports its confidence in Zoom Lion waste management solutions. Those are the stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. From the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, it says Interplast JIDA in landmark partnerships to revolutionize agriculture. Okay. Amentia rekindles spirit of communal labor. I love this because those days when we were doing a lot of communal labor, our communities were very, very clean. The news center on the front page says Kenya reports its confidence in Zoom Lion's waste solutions. Baumia appeals for state burial for Daddy Lumba. BOG to hedge gold. A third of total reserves being considered. That's according to the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Johnson Esiama. Shaibu Haruna dedicates FinTech CEO award to Momo customers. Okay. FDA halt Testaton production over health risks. And DSTV, St. George prize and fight deeping. So those are the stories on the front pages of my papers, Ghanaian Times and the News Center. Lawyer, what do you have?
Doc. I have
Doc. Forget myself.
I have the Daily Graphic, Agric Future at Risk. 2018 Best Farmer Sounds Alarm.
Okay.
And it's my own brother, James Boateng, who is a farmer. And I've been to his farm recently. We were having the 1 week celebration of my late aunt, his mother, and we went to the farm.
Okay.
And he's doing a lot. He has,
He obviously have mango farms.
he has mangoes, he has oil palm, he has
Does he have coconut?
coconut.
Rice.
He has got rice.
Plantain.
He has got cassava. He's got plantain. And he has got, animals, livestock too. Poultry, sheep, goats. I didn't see cattle. So, but he reignited my interest. But the point he makes here, for me, is quite important. That if you look at...
we'll get into it.
So just the heading?
Yeah, those
okay.
are the stories. There. Lawyer, please, what do you have?
Zoomlion, so this is the Ghanaian publisher, and my headlines are Zoomlion Kenya seal waste deal, fake forest rates hurting traders, minority leader to government, Baumia calls for state burial for Lumba, and NPP denies ties to Ukrainian PR firm.
That's the publisher, eh?
That's the publisher.
Okay.
And then the BNFT, Business and Financial Times, the Kenya and Zoomlion story again. Petroleum revenues slumped 56% in the first half of 2025. And rubber tension. And then the back page is the Tasty Tom mixed
Story.
recall.
Okay. Wanda.
Yeah, so I have from the Republic Press, OSP, AG under pressure as government anti-corruption credibility wanes. Then I have Lumba honored in grand style as thousands hold candlelight vigil at Independence Square. Then I also have Mahama to host landmark summit on Africa's health sovereignty in Accra.
Okay, all right. Let's start from the Daily Graphic, because as for agriculture, we all depend on agric. Now it says, the 2018 National Best Farmer, James Boateng, has called for a complete rethink and restructuring of the country's agricultural sector, warning that fragmented policies, poor implementation and political interference continue to derail the sector's potential to drive economic growth and ensure national food security. He said about 1 million Ghanaians were not food secure, while millions of children under 5 were said to be malnourished. Quoting World Food Programme statistics, he painted a stark picture of the country's agricultural realities, describing them as unsustainable and disjointed. Delivering the keynote address at the Legon Presse conversation under the Boabab tree on the theme towards a holistic approach to agriculture in Ghana, Mr. Boateng blamed the situation on erratic weather patterns, high inflation, weak policy execution, and a disconnect between agricultural planning and ground-level realities. Quote, there is often a big gap between policy formulation and implementation. Policies change with every government, which create uncertainty and disrupt progress, unquote, the former National Best Farmer lamented. So that's a problem confronting our sector in Ghana. But this is cyclical. It's been happening. So what do we need to do, really? Lawyer, Doc, let me start with you.
So I like to quote the Omahini of Isikado, Nana Kobna Nketia, the Fed, who said that to develop is to stop or avoid repeating mistakes. Once we have identified what the issues are, the challenges are, we must make the important interventions, take the necessary steps, and ensure that we are disciplined in living by those steps. What are they? Number one, which is an issue that is raised when you read the story further, is the land tenure system, the land regime. How much land is available and how accessible is land to those who want to farm. Then you have got the issue of the connection between policy and implementation from the governmental level to the individual practitioner at the local level who wants to embark on farming. Then you have the psychology bit, which is the orientation about farming. Is it, somebody says don't invest in the bush, but most money, or where you make money, is the bush. So how do we reorient ourselves that farming is not a punishment, or going into the bush is not a punishment, but it is a source of wealth if you are able to go further. And he laments the fact that you have people who are turning their farms into illegal mining because it appears that it's an easy way to make money through illegal mining than to spend time and work in the farm over time and wait for the dividends. Then you have got the issue of marketing or markets. How much market is available for produce, and when they have been produced, how accessible are our roads to these markets for them, the farmers, to go and sell. All these must be coordinated. And once we coordinate and we listen to those who are practicing and those who are interested in ensuring that things go well, we would be making headway. And Kojo, perhaps the last point I want to make here is the tailoring of our tastes to what we produce. Around 2006, if I recall the date well, His Excellency, former President John Agyekum Kufuor, in one of the State of the Nation addresses said that we must produce what we eat.
Yes.
Eat what we can and can what we can't. That was a profound statement.
Yeah.
In it was the issue of, managing our taste.
Yeah.
Do we eat what we produce? We have a taste for imported rice. Is that good for our system? How much are we able to produce? If we are producing anything at all, when we say that we want to cut down on imports, are we producing enough for Ghanaians? Otherwise, you'll be cutting down on imports and yet you'll be starving your people. So we need to look at that statement again and see to it that we generate an export system from that. He talked about the total of money revenue that we got from agricultural export being 27, I think exports being 27 million, and what we got, yes, he said the country earned about 27 billion annually from exports. Agriculture contributed a mere 3 billion to this figure, even with cocoa included. So how can we up the game from the agriculture side? If agric is going to do about 6 to 10 billion, what it means is that our export, that is about 27, is going to go beyond, and we have the capacity with good sunlight, land, water, and what have you. So we can farm all year long. But if our taste is not there for what we produce, we are going to have a problem. And then we need the discipline to say that if we are cutting down on some export, as we are producing enough for ourselves and to export some, we must be disciplined not to be misled or pushed into allowing our friends who are benefiting from that industry to back down on that, because we have seen it many times that we say that we are putting embargo on poultry importation to aid the local production. Either the local production is not coming, or within 2, 3, 4 days we do a U-turn and then walk down on our own ways. We need to be consistent. It will not take all of a sudden, but consistent persistence is what we need to make the progress that we all will require as a country.
I'll come back to a story in the Times that is tagged to that, tied to this one. But let me bring in Wanda Matilo. Wanda, James speaks about or refers to a statement former President Kufuor made about let's grow what we eat. There is an issue about pricing as well. That the Ghanaian will always look at what is cheap. What we produce in Ghana is not cheap. I'm in the rice and poultry industry, so I know what's happening. How do we make the Ghanaian products competitive as well?
Well, there are, when it comes to production, there are several factors, and some of them you can influence. Some are beyond your scope of influence, especially forex. You know that we do not have, we have some of the raw materials. In all this business about growing what you eat, eating what you grow, we largely again depend on imports. Import of fertilizers, import of inputs, even the seeds sometimes, some of them are imported, into this country. Now, beyond that is also the cost of producing what you are producing. Land is expensive in this country. If not, they are far away from you. Because, if, for instance, I needed about 100 acres of land in Accra, I may not get. I may have to go beyond. So transport is also going to impact what I am doing. Then preservation is also going to impact it. If I take off tomatoes from the stock today and it doesn't get to the market in 2 days, I have a challenge. And so all those factors tend to affect what we do when it comes to agriculture and the whole agricultural chain development. That's why I'm positive that we will be able to have a program that transcends governments. If Ghana was serious, with what a champion did or talked about, this grow what you eat or eat what you grow and all that. This thing started way back from a champion's government. Operation Feed Yourself.
A champion actually took the leaf from Nkrumah.
Well, no problem. But I'm talking about...
yeah.
So we did not take advantage of some of these opportunities. In fact, after the drought in 1983, when you used to have what you call the Rawlings chain and all that, Ghana made some good progress in terms of agriculture, based on which Ghana was awarded this award for Rawlings. The Hunger Project came into being and all that. And then UDS today came to be. But again, UDS itself, which was formed again to tackle development issues, have also derailed as we speak. Because they've gone into doing all kinds of projects, programs now. And so the focus again is missing. So we start, but we are unable to put together a full-grown plan that transcends MBP, NDC, or CPP. And that's what my senior, Mr. Boateng, talked about. Luckily for me, I also went to Presec Legon. So he's a member of the alumni, and I'm very proud of him as a former student. And we have always said this, that the problem with our agriculture is not even the people. People are willing to go into agriculture. Credit is not available. We had an agricultural development bank in this country that was solely put together to support agriculture. No doubt their name. Today they have even run away from that agri bank to ADB. They don't even want to be told. They don't want us to even mention that once upon a time they were dedicated to agriculture. Today they are going to commercial, dealings. So that again is lost. We used to have a bank in this country called Bank for Housing and Construction. It's also gone. They are all doing something else. So we start a plan, good plans, we are not able to run it through. And that's where our problem is. We should be able as a country, and the large plank of our country's development goals should be around agriculture. Malaysia did this, and today they are far away from us. This palm plantation that we're talking about today, that in Ghana, when you grow palm, you can have this, you can have this. Malaysia started with us. In fact, we have independence. They had independence around the same time they had it. If you go to Malaysia today, you will drive several kilometers and you'll be driving through farm plantations, and it's all about palm plantations and all that.
They came to learn from us, right? They
came to learn from us. Today they have gone. So consistency is one of the things that we need to do as a country. In every sphere of life, from education to health, Ghana always starts first. Then we lose focus along the line. Then other countries come to copy and they stay at it. Even in business, even in our private life, what you get results for is the things you stay at. What you keep doing and doing and doing is that thing that you get the results for. But if you're all over the place, jack of all trades, you will never be master of any. And so I think that as a country, we need to depoliticize agric. In particular, food does not know political color. What I eat today, what you eat today, does not know NDC or MPP. If you're hungry, you're hungry. So at least those ones, we should take off political lenses and begin to have a program that develops agriculture. This week, I was in Sawam, earlier in the week, and I saw a couple of pineapple plantations. And some of them, the leaves were growing very brown. And I'm saying, so can't we irrigate these farms? Do we always have to wait for the rains? Can't we find a way? Can't you drill a borehole and get a pump over it and get some sprinklers and do this? Why? Even to put fertilizer on plants, people are still doing the knapsack pumping thing to be able to spray a farm. Actually, you can actually put that in one whole water tank, drop it, and then the sprinklers take it for you. And in a few minutes, it's done. So I think that the problem of our country is that we start things and we don't see to the full implementation.
Lawyer, I mean, when Wanda was speaking, I could see you nodding. What you were thinking about this particular subject?
I mean, I agree with the fact that we have to depoliticize it because at the end of the day, it's about food security for the nation, and that is not something that can, be, politicized in the sense of people playing ping pong with our food security. There are several things. I mean, my two brothers here have said a lot, and I agree with what they both said. I won't repeat them. What I will add is that, we have to develop a taste for Ghanaian food, which is the point that my brother Bonfa was making.
I'm told when you go to Nigeria, even though you wouldn't like how their rice is, but that's what you have
and they
on
eat
the plate.
it. Yes, we have to develop a taste for our own food. We have to support our farmers. We have to love. We have to go, whether it's the government together with the farmers' unions, to go on a Buy Ghana campaign. So that we develop a love for our food. You drive around Somanya and the mango growing regions in Ghana, and you see, mangoes rotting away. Wasted. Wasted. And then when that season is over, you're now looking for mangoes in the market, and they'll tell you, it's past the season, so you can't get mangoes. The yam season has passed, so you can't get yam. So the shortage, there's always a shortage. We have to, look at these countries in Europe and in places where you have very cold weather that does not even support agriculture. They have greenhouses, and they make sure that there's food, or everything is available all year round and easily accessible to everybody. And look at us. We're bang on the equator. We have very fertile soil. We have rain. We have everything. We have the sunshine, and yet we have these cycles where there's, you just can't find that particular thing. Oh, it's plantain season, it's too late. You can't get plantain. We have to stop that now. Irrigation is a big problem. We have to look at whether it's greenhouses, so we have to find a way to make food available all year round. It's not rocket science. Other countries are doing it, and they've been doing it for a very, very long time. So I think that's one thing that I feel strongly about. And then the gap between the policy and the implementation. There's a huge gap. And that gap, I think government has to find a way, together with the farmers, to bridge that gap. Because as long as you have that gap, all these problems that we are all talking about will keep, persisting. The other thing I'd like to talk about is genetically modified food.
GM foods.
Yes. We should not allow that here. I know it's already here. And my concern about that is the effect it has on the soil. I'm no GM expert, but I do know that if you keep planting these things, there will become a time when we will have no choice but to plant that because of the soil has adapted to that. Right now, anything you put in the ground in Ghana, even in your backyard, it grows. So we don't need genetically modified food. In their countries, they need them because they don't have, So I don't know why we just embrace everything. I don't know whether there are international policies forcing us to do these things or whether we just accept all these things. So we need to be very careful so that it doesn't creep up on us. Well, it's already here and it's actually growing quite a bit. And I don't want to eat GM foods. And if the FDA is going to allow that, then they should be clearly labeled so that I, as a consumer, I have a choice to decide whether I want to eat these biologically manufactured foods or whether I want to stick to our naturally grown foods here. So don't just do it under stealth. Don't let us go into supermarkets and the market and buy things that we are putting in our bodies and we don't know whether they are real, i.e. organically grown or naturally grown Ghanaian soil, or whether genetically modified.
Okay.
You see, that is why, based on what Vicky just said, that is why you cannot take politics out of this conversation. And I get the point both of you made. My understanding is that it is the kind of politics, the bad politics of discontinuing good politics. Because at the end of the day, good policies.
Yes. I think when I say take politics out, what I mean is that if we have policies that are working, then leave them.
Leave them.
Don't keep interfering and doing
exactly,
this. Today, this government comes and stirs it.
Which is bad politics. Because at the end of the day, the entirety of our lives is governed by politics. We make choices. Yeah. But the kinds of politics or the kind of politics that we do is the most important thing. And you see, all the things that we said here, the greenhousing and irrigation and all that. The Akosombo Dam project
we forgot taxes
was tied
on agri-products. So.
Yeah, the Akosombo Dam project was tied to agriculture.
Yes.
The entirety of the Volta River, from the White Volta to the Black Volta, was supposed to be an irrigation source to water our lands throughout the year. These plans were laid. We knew the number of fishes that we needed in our rivers as part of the 7-year development plan that was truncated in 1966. The bad politics is when such a good policy is abandoned on the drawing board. And every time we discuss the needs that the country has on agriculture or in the area of the agriculture, it flashes back to such a plan and such a program. Okay. So we need to move away from the bad politics, which discontinues good policies, into the good politics that continues good policies for the good of our country.
But tied into this is the AU honoring our Agric Minister, Eric Opoku, for agricultural transformation. Wanda, you might want to consider that, maybe a minute on it, and then we can move on.
No, I understand that there was an envoy, AU Special Envoy Office, that gave him the medal in merit for agric transformation and food security.
So the story says Eric Opoku has been honored with the Honorary Ambassador of Agenda 2063 by the Office of the Special Envoy to the African Union in recognition of his outstanding leadership in agricultural transformation and commitment to advancing food security in Ghana and Africa. He was also presented with the Diplomatic Medal of Merit in agricultural transformation and food security, acknowledging his contribution to sustainable development on the continent through agriculture.
So it goes beyond just Eric Opoku himself. It's actually based on the policies that have been implemented over this short period. We have the initiatives like the Feed Ghana program, which is ongoing. The farmer service centers also launched. You have the farm banks. Government is in the process of acquiring land banks for people who want to go into farming and all that. There's also the crop development, projects. That is to take care of maize, rice, soya, and sorghum. That is also on course. Then there's the Ridia one, which is the vegetables, expansion program and all that. So it is not just Eric Opoku, it's government's plan or plank of programs that is targeted towards agriculture and food security. That don't also forget Eric Opoku himself is a farmer. He's been a farmer. He's been in this industry for a while before becoming a Greek minister and all that. So it fits into the gamut of issues government wants to do in the area of agriculture and all that.
Okay, all right. Laura, you want to take a bite on this, or I should pass?
No, pass. I mean, I just say, we're very happy with what the minister is doing. So we just need to see it through, follow all these things through.
All right, Doc.
Well, I think that this is part of the recognition we must have for achievements or efforts over time, collective, for the entirety of our country. I don't think that the recognition is in respect of what has been done in the past 7 months alone. It couldn't be, because 7 months, what really has been done within the agriculture sector by this regime that will be impactful to be measured and be experienced overseas. So it's an acknowledgement of some effort over time, which is to tell us that even with the challenges that we are having in the agriculture sector, we are making some efforts. However, let us do more and let us recognize and acknowledge the collective contribution. And as I always say, Kojo, we need to accept that in this country and this world, no single effort alone, no matter how good, can be better than the collective effort of all of us put together. The best time Usain Bolt made in his run-up or his running, his sprint, was not when he ran alone, but when he ran with a quartet. They made a record. And in that record, he made a time that was better than the time that he could make when he ran alone. Together, we can build Ghana. Let us use that spirit, sincerity, honesty, and authenticity of our lives to build Ghana together. Thank you.
All right. Let me go to Lawyer. Lawyer, you have the BNFT.
Yes.
I think there's a story that piques your interest there. There's one that talks about Ghana's petroleum production also slumping, but let me go with you.
Yes, I actually want to talk about this Tasty Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a very serious matter. A lot of people eat. You know, Ghanaians, we cook a lot with tomatoes.
Canned food.
And canned foods, you know, there's canned tomato and in the sachets and all that. And there's a recall of it. And the little I've heard so far is that even where they prepare the tomato paste, it's not really, doesn't meet the relevant hygiene standards. And so that's of concern because these are things that we are consuming into our bodies.
Yeah.
So I would urge the FDA, I mean, when I'm reading the story, I don't see anything about it. They just say bloating. And I understand the reason is because when the sachet is bloated, it means that there are some kind of micro whatever in there.
Build up in
Yes,
there.
yes. So it's dangerous. And also there's mold as well. So when you read bloating, you might wonder, oh, what does that mean? But it's actually a serious health concern and a serious health issue. We cannot, I don't know what it is about people why they think that anything goes in this country. How can you be feeding us this kind of food? I mean, how? It's totally unacceptable. And when you read the story, they've kind of dressed it all up like, oh, it's just a recall and don't eat the food and just take it to your nearest whatever. No, it is bad food. We don't want that. You know, so they have to raise the standards. They really have to raise the standards and comply. All they have to do is to comply with the laws of this country and produce food in accordance with the law. That's all, so that we are all comforted in the fact that it is healthy. The other thing I'm learning also is that a lot of these tomato pastes have like 7% tomatoes. The rest of it is all sorts of things.
Oh, really?
Yes, which we don't know about. So if that is the case, they should label it clearly. They should stop embellishing these things. They should label it clearly so that I know.
You think you're eating tomatoes, but you're
You
not.
think you're eating tomatoes, and you're not. You're eating maybe 5% tomatoes with coloring and all sorts of things with all the E's. You know, whenever you see E, it means it's bad for you. So, you know, we are not guinea pigs here in this country. So please, don't use us as guinea pigs. Don't think that we don't know what's what, we don't know what we're about, and that anything goes. No. The days of anything goes in Ghana are over. So stop it. All food manufacturers, and I'm not suggesting there are some very responsible food manufacturers out there. And for those ones, you know, we commend you. But those who are cutting corners and playing cha-cha with Ghanaian life, stop it. If you're going to put things in food, then FDA, please, you must have a directive to compel these manufacturers to tell us what we are eating so that we have the choice. Don't make the choice for us by letting them keep quiet and embellishing these things. So that is something that I think we should raise out there, because a lot of people who can't afford real tomatoes, because tomatoes have become very expensive, they use these packs, the sachets, thinking that at least they'll have some tomatoes that way, and they cook with it because they can't afford the fresh tomatoes. So once again, you know, the more vulnerable people in our society are suffering, and it's not acceptable. Okay. So stop it.
Now, if you go into the details on the news center, it says, in a strongly worded statement released on Sunday, August 3, the FDA confirmed that the decision follows an earlier directive for a nationwide recall of all canned variant of Tasty Tom and rich tomato mix along with specific batches of the product in 380 gram and 1.05 kg pouches. Says the move comes into, okay, blah, blah, blah. Then it continues to say that according to the FDA's findings, Nutrifood's factory operations showed alarming lapses in both equipment maintenance and safety monitoring systems. The regulatory body discovered that faulty sealing mechanisms in the canned tomato mix had allowed contaminant to penetrate the product. Several pouches were reported to be visibly bloated. You're speaking about that. Then it says, okay, in January 2025, the company had already been barred from producing the tomato mix due to similar concerns. The recurrence of such violations has raised critical questions about the company's commitment to food safety and its adherence to public health protocols. The FDA, in response, has initiated an internal review to determine whether there were any lapses in regulatory oversight that allowed Nutrifood to resume production without meeting full compliance standards. So, just
January
2025.
And we are now in August.
In August.
And they are still at it. It means they don't respect us. Who are they anyway? Who owns this Nutrifood? Who are they?
Well, we have
Is it a Ghanaian company or a foreign company?
We have to dig. I'll try and do something.
Yeah, no, we have to. I mean, they should stop it. It's ridiculous.
Most of the time, it will amaze you that even if they are foreign, they have some Ghanaian
Oh, yes.
I mean,
yes.
characters in there. But
no, I just want to know who they are.
Concerned that up to this stage, the FDA together with the GSA, Ghana Standards Authority, they have not invoked their regulatory powers to close down this company. In the meantime,
yes,
pending the outcome of the investigations. And I'm particularly happy that FDA is also from what you read, they are instituting an internal review mechanisms to ascertain their officers who were assigned to go there.
But Doc, doesn't it answer your fears? It says, ordered the immediate suspension of the manufacture of Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix, warning that serious health and safety violations at the production facility of Nutrifoods Ghana Limited pose a direct danger to human life. Is it not enough, or you just
suspension of one of that thing? Okay. Is that the only thing they produce?
Or they even produce biscuits.
So that's why I'm saying that this is enough basis to warrant the invocation of their regulatory powers to suspend that company
over all their products.
Yes.
What if they are following the standards in terms of other products?
If there is no issue whatsoever with that,
with the other products,
fine, that one. But even this will give me cause to be concerned about their other products. If they can do this, you see, there's a saying in Akan that abononyana on kawa on finishing chiro. Okay, I mean this is life. It's about life.
Yes,
and we are told that this is based on complaints. Now the FDA is saying that why this has gone on with their own supposed regulatory monitoring is something that they want to investigate. So I want to look at it from that angle. But it also raises the issue that this may not be just the only company.
Yes.
What about the other food producing companies around? How much routine checks do we have to be sure that they meet their standards? And then it brings about the third leg for me, which is about citizen awareness and activism, alertness. When you buy and you detect something unusual, are you bold? Are you conscious? And are you ready to go and report? And do we have these consent platforms where one can easily reach out and send information? If this matter had not come up in the media and generated discussions on this, I mean, how many people would be aware? So we need that frontline connection between our regulatory agencies and the consumer.
Yeah, and you know, between January and now, how many people have used Tasty Tom to cook?
Yeah.
I bet all of us have.
Yes,
You are eating somewhere that they use
yes,
it.
yes.
Especially if you eat outside.
Yes.
Oh, but even in our homes.
Even in
Even your
our
homes,
homes.
yes,
Yes.
your homes.
But
No, it's
so I
very
just
serious.
okay. So this is what I found on the olamgroup.com.
Okay.
Says NutriFoods Ghana Limited, a joint venture between Olam and Sanyo Foods.
Ulam Ghana.
Yes.
Sanyo-
Olam. No, this is Olam.
Olam,
Sorry,
that's
this
it.
is-
It's a global.
Yes, Olam.
it's a
Group.
Yeah,
Yes,
Olam
yes.
is a huge
Yes, yes.
conglomerate.
So
yes.
that's it.
So
So
Sanyo sounds Ghanaian. I don't know.
Sanyo. So we have to go into what Sanyo is. So
Yeah,
I'll
Whoever they are,
Whoever they are, we don't
need
care.
to-
All we care about is our
The right
health
thing
and
should be
safety
done.
as Ghanaians. And stop playing ping pong with our lives.
Okay.
Stop
Which
it.
means we kill ourselves.
I
So
want to-
suicide
You know,
mission.
Wonder.
I wanted to talk about this Ghana Water launches nationwide crackdown on illegal connections, but that would tie again into regulations or the regulatory bodies. You see, a couple of years ago, I still do. I had a factory that produces the dispenser bottled water.
Okay.
And it took us more than 1 year to get just license from Food and Drugs Board to produce. And I had customers who were lined up who wanted it desperately. And here I was struggling with Food and Drugs Board. Bring this, bring that, bring this, bring that. They talk about phytosanitary conditions in the place that has been settled. They won't come and inspect. The businessman, we need to understand that the businessman's focus is to make money. And so it is your responsibility as a regulator to be on their heels.
But
Now
why
I
should
see,
the-
I read.
I get a bit about regulation, but why should a businessman focus on profit
That's
at the
life.
expense of people's health?
Human
That's
life.
life. The earlier you understand that, the better. That's life.
Oh, really?
The person invested to make money. Get it straight. And let's understand where they are also coming from. And that's where there is regulation.
But
And I'm
the
saying that
ethical-
the regulatory body called Food and Drugs Board
Yeah.
and the Standard Board are sometimes laid back. In that same report, what you read right now, they said that they have instituted some measures to check if it was regulatory failure. How do you tell me this? You are the one to do the regulations. You come and write grammar for me and tell me that you have instituted measures. You should know by now which officer of your team works in that environment, since you had given the instruction to stop productions. You should be able to check by their batch numbers whether any productions have been done in the process, who was monitoring, who was the team leader who was supposed to enforce that no productions was done. Was the place shut down? If it was shut down, who opened it? If it was opened, who instructed that for these things to be done? So I don't think that this is grammar, we are listening to. Somebody should be held accountable. If you instructed that the place should be closed down, did you enforce it? Did you ensure that the place has been closed down? And if it was closed down, who was that person in charge? If they were going to, because you were closing them down not forever, you were closing them down so that they can rectify their phytosanitary conditions. So somebody should have been a liaison officer between that company and Food and Drugs Board. And we shouldn't be having the discussion at this point. I don't think that it's
And
that
also,
is the issue.
restaurants, they buy their food in advance.
Yes, yes.
So the restaurants that have this Tasty Tom, who have, bought them in big cans, what are we doing about
So
them?
they're
'Cause they're not gonna.
calling.
Yeah, they actually
Yes,
have
calling
but the point is about the regulator. Are we making sure that all of them are doing that? Outside in the country, you have places where even when you order food from Uber Eats, you have hygiene stamps, hygiene stars.
Exactly.
5-star being the highest and 1-star being the lowest. If I order food, I look at the hygiene star. If it's below 4, I don't buy from that place. So there are things that we can do, that the regulator can do to keep these guys on their toes.
I just wanted to say something. Wanda, you may want to, you see, there are theories guiding businesses. What you said is just one leg of it. But even when the business is profit-oriented,
Every business is profit.
yes, it's solely profit-oriented, there have emerged additions about responsibility to the society, the
That I
consumer,
agree. That I agree.
which must be tailored to meet with the interest to make profit.
That I
failure to which your business licenses can be in jeopardy.
No, that I agree.
We need to tie them in.
I agree.
But yes,
they're
whilst you want to
ethical
make
businesses
you want to make profit, you need to also be concerned especially when you look at the stockholders theory. You have to be concerned about the consumer and your responsibility towards them.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is that, like you said,
no, but it doesn't take away the regulators' responsibility to
the
see
law,
to it that
the
you
law
meet.
that created this regulatory body saw that there is a possibility that somebody may be ethical, another may be unethical in terms of production or responsibility. And that's why you have somebody that takes the control, takes the whip. And I'm saying that when these people fail, everything fails. Because to the one who needs money, he doesn't care. Even if he has to put signing in and people will buy it, he doesn't care, he will do that.
He must care.
The regulator,
he must care.
People put him for money.
It's the assumption that he must care.
It's not an assumption.
It's not
an assumption.
No,
to the extent that if you are caught,
that's not within your control.
To make,
I'm saying that that's not what is within your control as a regulator.
Why do we
enforce the law.
We teach ethics?
Once you enforce the law, it will be difficult for somebody to even flout it. Even if I have the intention to flout it, and the law is so rigid, and the people who are monitoring are doing it, I will not do it.
Okay.
Because if that was the case, there shouldn't be any police in this town or in any country. Because everybody should know that crime is crime and must not commit it. But yet we have people who commit crime.
Interesting. I had a lawyer talking about some formalin or formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde. Didn't we go through a period where people were putting it in kinky?
In kinky.
You know, when you
bread,
so when you know the thing that makes it when you eat kinky. You know, I'm from Jamestown, so I know what real kinky is. When you eat the gar kinky, it should actually, mess up your hand. If it doesn't, then it's got that thing in it. So people should be aware of that. If you're eating the kinky and your hand is clean, don't buy from that person again. Yes, your hand should be messed up. That's what real kinky is.
Okay, yes. But lawyer, it's good you are here, so you help us. This says Olam International Limited, Olam, and Sanyo Foods Company Limited of Japan, Sanyo Foods, announced that they have agreed to set up a joint venture company, JV, in Nigeria to manufacture and distribute instant noodles in Nigeria and across sub-Saharan Africa.
To manufacture?
Noodles.
Oh, noodles, okay.
Yeah. Could it be the same Olam and Sanyo we're talking about?
It must be, yes.
It could be.
It sounds like it is.
Then these are two international companies.
Yes. Okay.
No
yes.
It
sounds like it. Yes.
Yes. Any other issue in the BNFT you want us to deal
I
with?
think that was my main.
But
thing.
the petroleum
revenue slump. Oh yes.
That's huge, isn't it?
That's a big one.
Dr. Madilo, you are a development consultant. You have to take this one. The revenue slump, 56%.
That's huge.
First half of 2025.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Petroleum revenue slump. Oh, no.
Shall I read a bit of it?
Yeah, you can read, but again, largely, I mean, with what is happening in Ghana, with the sharp decline of the dollar and all that, you would obviously see a decline in our revenue base. In fact, Port and Harbors is also already recording. These days, you clear cars at half the price you were paying before. So if you were paying 100,000, you are paying 50,000 now. So government will obviously see a sharp decline in our revenue base. However, even though it is sharp decline, it will meet our requirements.
Okay.
So it's not as though it is cutting.
We don't need to panic.
Exactly. So there's nothing to panic about.
They're saying it was as a result of the reduction in crude.
Our production levels. Advising that we invest more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm told that these guys, these two U.S. companies, Cosmos and one more, E&I or something. One of them they are partnering to come back on stream or something.
So
okay. I'm sure production will go up very soon.
I mean, they've discovered more around K3.2. So let's see how it goes. We're grateful to you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. We had in studio here Vicky Bright. She's a lawyer and an entrepreneur. We also had Dr. James Kwabena Bomfe. He's CEO of Senses and lecturer at UPSA, and also Wanda Madilo. He is a development consultant, and they all joined us to have breakfast today. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, this is the AM show. We'll take a break. When we return, we have our big stories. You know what? There's a lot for us to discuss together in Building Mother Ghana. Do stay with us here.